So let's talk about what we would call Latitude 43. You called me to ask if we might be interested in this book.
Yes.
And your photographs are so beautiful. Of course I said yes, I had no idea what was involved. And then engaged this amazing team at Donovan and Green. But talk a little bit about your experience of building this story of Latitude 43.
Yeah. So it started actually a couple of years ago, and we used to travel to Saint-Tropez a lot. And whenever I approached Saint-Tropez and looked over the Gulf of Saint-Tropez, I realized this white building, which I thought doesn't belong there because the architecture is so modern, so abstract and so functional, and it doesn't really correspond to the picturesque landscape of the Côte d'Azur. And for years I've been struggling to find out what this building is all about, and I was coming up with all kinds of hypotheses. And then by accident I had a conversation with the wife of the former mayor of Saint-Tropez, and she told me that this is actually a very important building in architecture. The building was constructed in 1936, at a time where Saint-Tropez was no more than a fisherman's village. It was designed by Georges-Henri, who is a famous architect at the time in France. He got inspired on a cruise ship, the Normandie, which was a famous French cruise ship, and he wanted to basically build a building that would look very similar to a cruise ship, but on land in the middle of pine woods. And he constructed this building with 200 people within half a year and opened it as a hotel in July, right to the beginning of the season. He opened that hotel, and it became not only an important hallmark of modern architecture at the time, it became also a place that was responsible to attract tourism to the Côte d'Azur originally. There are a lot of interesting architectural features. For example, he wanted to make sure that every room had daylight and sunlight throughout the day. So the building is very thin, and one of the biggest criticisms was that some guests had to walk like for hundreds of meters to get to their hotel room. But on the other side, they had a room that would provide sunlight throughout the day. Over 2 years, I took these pictures of the building, which I think represent the architecture and what he was trying to accomplish very well.
Now that you've designed this, we've collectively as a team designed this beautiful book. The result is there. They're sitting in your. If they're sitting in your apartment, they're probably your entire living room. Right?
Well, I had to carry like 60 boxes into my living room, which was a really big workout.
Yes. So now the question is, what happens to the book, and how do you plan to launch it and get it to people, and who do you want to get it to anyway?
Well, first of all, I need to come back to what this book is all about. It's about a story about an important building that probably many people traveling to this area every year don't even know. I think I want to honor those people who live in the building still today. I want them to be proud of where they live, and I want them to understand, how important that building is to the whole French society and abroad.